Everybody, Scott here, welcome, and I'm going to be playing today some Ninja Gaiden, NES version. I'm going to be playing it on the Nintendo Wii U Virtual Console using the Wii Classic Controller. Love this first stage. Definitely appreciate how this first stage is very manageable. In fact, I'm actually kind of surprised that I got hit already. Probably because I'm concentrating on talking and playing at the same time. So yeah, this is definitely one of my top NES games for sure. One of those NES hard games that you just really enjoy coming back to, and it's really satisfying process to go from stinking at it at first and getting better and better at it as you practice it. As I get hit a few times, totally unnecessarily. Boss easy. I love that first stage. I love the graphics on that. This is really, really good looking for an NES game from '89. So yeah, overall, my biggest history of this game is I think I rented it back in the day on Nintendo, but about 10 years ago or so, a roommate of mine actually basically dared me, saying like if I could beat this game without like cheating with save states, that he would buy me a 6-pack of beer, and that kind of became a thing, and I started seriously practicing it, and eventually went through the process of actually, beating everything the right way without cheating. So it's kind of become a classic game in my mind just from that experience. That's kind of what got me into this. Boop. I love how satisfying the hits are in this game. Just the sound effects and all the one-hit kills is really satisfying. That one. So much about learning this game is just practicing every section over and over again until you finally figure it out. These first couple stages aren't that bad. To get to the third stage, you gotta put more effort into it, but then it's really the fourth, fifth, and sixth stages that you really have to practice. Alright. Another easy boss. Got what to do. Very surprised at how much story there is in this game going back into it, because I think for the most part I don't think of NES games like this having like a lot of cutscenes and this sort of thing. birds, man. Respawning birds will drive you crazy in this game. This game is probably the ultimate example I could think of a game where respawning enemies really drive you crazy. It really forces you to figure out how to play every section. Oop. G.I. Joe. Oop. That cat out of the way. There we go. Another boss. Whoa. Just throwing that star over there in case he throws that stuff at me. Oop. That's it. Good. Yeah, this stage right here, the fourth stage, is definitely where things start to get a lot more demanding. You have to really practice it from now on. And that's my first death. Not good. Alright. Just makes all the difference in the world, and just makes it so much easier to have it. Really brought everything out of the NES that they could get. Not this one. Yeah. I love this thing, 'cause it's like, did they just carve that mountain to look nice and evil, specifically, or did the bad guys just find that and think, hey, that looks like a good place for a bad guy's lair? Whoa! Okay. There was not something to jump on there. That time thing to clean this area up, otherwise this is a harder section here. Nope. Still not. Alright. Whoa. Alright. I almost feel like this game was designed to make you feel like a ninja, the way roommate plays. It's like really the only way to get good at this game is to learn how to just run through it kind of fast. Because if you kind of slow down and think about everything, then the game kind of catches up to you. And you just get overwhelmed. Most of the best strategies are like that, to just quickly move, hit him before he hits you. And there we go. Boss. Whoa. And jump. I really do like this Wii Classic white controller. I prefer this one over the one that came later with the handles, because I did feel like they kind of hurt the back of my hands a little bit. The only one issue with it is that this cord is admittedly very short, so it's like I have the Wiimote like laying on the ground, and I have to like hold this controller just in a very specific spot. That's my only one issue with it. Other than that, though, it's an incredibly nice controller. I love the design on it. Oh, that's a tough one. Bird. Oh! Not good. Jump over that bird. Bat, whatever. Bird bat. Get some health back. Get that guy. And 5-2. Jump through all that. And this jump, I do not like this at all. Because that happens. And there we go. not like those birds. Dead. Jump over the bird. Don't worry about that. Alright. 5-3. I thought the enemies in this game are like, half of them are like thugs, some of them are ninjas, some of them are just wild animals attacking you for no apparent reason. Some of them are soldiers. Not really sure why. Kind of the NES logic of just everything is out to get you. Learn to just jump over that cat. Okay, try to get through this quickly before the fire runs out. That guy. Wait for him to go there so you can jump over him. Up here, boss. Now this is one of the weirdest bosses in the game because literally they just give you all your health back and you just need to rush them. It's like, you can jump over his shots, but it's really difficult to do so and you don't have to. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Killed? It is true that we fought, but your father is alive. Alright. Last level. 6-1. Let's do this. Let's beat this game. For real. Without cheating. No save states. Just doing it. Whoa. Alright. If you don't know, the big challenge of this game is that if you die on any of the 3 final bosses, you go all the way back to 6-1 there. Like literally just die once on them. They send you all the way back. Pretty rough. Probably the most unforgiving checkpoint that I can think of in video game history. Ah. Thing right there. I don't need it there. You kind of have to let the game speak to you in terms of what special weapon to have at which time. More often than not, they give you a useful weapon right when you need it. Like that, right there. Not the best weapon in the game, but it's very useful up here. This is also one of the hardest checkpoints in the game right here. This is not easy. glad they brought back the fire wheel in the Ninja Gaiden reboots. Which, by the way, I love the first one. The Xbox games, Ninja Gaiden Black, and then Ninja Gaiden Sigma on PS3. Love those games. Particularly the first one. I didn't play 3. I didn't play, like, the Razor's Edge, whatever it's called. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, it was good, but I definitely preferred the first one more. To me, the level design is just more interesting. The more I love the city you were in and the kind of exploring elements to the game. Not sure what happened there. Star that dude. Wait for it. There. Hurry so those guys don't appear. Absolutely keep that. Want to be careful you don't jump up there because you can die. You have to walk up that ladder. Super fast there. Wait for that guy to disappear. This guy, there's a bird after him. That one. And there we go. And final bosses. Alright. Let's do this. Already getting it. 2, 3. Whoa. If you don't know, if when you're jumping and attacking, if you tap down and the attack button at the same time, you can do several attacks in the air. Whoa! Second form. Which is not easy at all. Nothing is. So yeah, this is one of the most notoriously hardest bosses ever. Just trying to get through this form and the final one. Pretty ridiculous. Alright, let's do this. this is one of those fights where it's like I feel my body move. I twitch a little bit as I try to move past these things. There you go. One last thing. Ooh. Alright. Let's let the cutscene roll here. Again, this is a strange amount of story for an old NES game from '89. This game is just so well done. In case you can't tell, this is definitely in my top 20, possibly my top 10. Not sure. I'm gonna go for the tail first. Oh, got it. Oh, first try. Oh, that game's hard. Oh, yeah. It's so satisfying when you do that, though. Ah. I have not played Ninja Gaiden 2 or 3 seriously since I was a kid. I think I turned them on like 10 years ago. I played them kind of sort of briefly, but didn't seriously try it. Might be on the to-do list at some point. Love it how in almost all NES games there's like a castle in the background crumbling at the ending. Okay, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Dracula's castle is destroyed. I love the look on Ryu's face in this ending. So this is your plan all along. I'll get you for this, Foster, and you have like a smile on his face. Seriously though, for an NES game to have this kind of story in it is surprising. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. This is the first gameplay video like this. I'm gonna see how it goes. Alright, hello everyone. This is Scott. Thanks for checking out the channel again. Today I am going to be playing Luigi Bros on the Nintendo Wii U. Specifically, this game was available as an unlockable game in Super Mario 3D World on Wii U. And once you beat the game, basically you unlock this game, and it's basically the original Mario Brothers, only it's Luigi Brothers. This game's still fun though. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Game B is harder or easier. Let's try Game B. I'm gonna look up at the TV this time. Okay. Dodge that fireball. Wait for this guy to come. Hit him quick. Jump up. Whoa! Whoa! Whew, that was close. Let's wait for him to come down. Hit him. Jump up. Wait, don't hit that thing. There we go. I love these old sound effects, like these old mono synth sounds. It's probably my favorite thing about games that are this old from this time period. It's just the super classic sound effects. Boom. Whoa, that's close. This is the second time I played this recently. When I first unlocked it about a week ago, I played this a little bit. Yeah, close enough. You got 8 out of 10 and no bonus. Lobsters twice. Boom. Boom. Hit. Hit. There. That's not good. Gotta think defense first. Make sure you don't get hit. Good thing this doesn't have like a super short time limit to it or something like that. There you go. Doing pretty good this time. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Here, how many levels this has? I have definitely never beaten Mario Brothers. You know what's super hard to beat is just Pac-Man. It's like a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, I was seriously trying to beat the NES Pac-Man on the Wii Virtual Console, and I was shocked to find out how many levels are in that game. Like, I kept playing it, and eventually I had to go online and found out just how many levels there were, and it was like, wow, I still had a long ways to go. I thought I was doing so good. Oh, these guys. I forgot about them. Seeing these little bee dudes makes me think of Donkey Kong 3. That was a hard game. It's another one of those games where it's like I like it and I can play it any time, but I only play it a little bit. Play it for a few levels, die, do that a few times, and be like, hey, okay, that was fun. It was satisfying, but I wouldn't want to play it all the time. Boom. Boing. Okay. Get that guy, go up. Guy. These fireballs are the hardest thing to deal with. That's not good. He's gonna recover. Not quite. Up here, and there you go. Boom. Ooh, ice stage. Try to jump on the POW. There you go. Get that in one fell swoop. Get that. Yeah, if you miss that. Ah, okay. Yeah, you gotta kind of get it perfectly. Huh. Phase 9. Phase 1, in which Doris gets her oats. What is that? I definitely was not expecting that. I don't know what that is. Whoa. Have I ever been this far? I don't think I've been this far. I don't remember seeing that. Does that make the ground slippery? Alright. And B. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, he's hopping fast. Okay. Bump him. Bump him. Quick. Okay. Can't jump on him. Pull. Run. I saw that coming. I'm gonna try the game A again. See how different it feels. I don't know, as I'm playing these games, I'm not noticing the difference. Like if one is significantly faster than the other or whatnot. Like game A and game B. Whoa. All right. Move around there. Yeah, that worked. I guess in order to avoid the fireball hitting you, you'd want to be careful to not be, just be stoically just waiting for it to come after you. You would kind of have to be quickly on the move, and I'm done. Whoa, still got it. Yeah, I counted. Okay, bearing. Okay. Whoa. There's one mad-looking pink crab. Lobster, crab, don't know. Guess it's a lobster. And there you go. Okay, turtle. You. Lobster, hit you. That. Hit him there. Go, go. There. It's easy enough. Coins. Whoa. Okay. I'm doing a lot better this time than I did last time. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Wow. That was not good. Okay. let's hit this. Oh, that only affects them when they're on the ground. Okay. Note to self. I was totally expecting that to just hurt everything. That was not what it did. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's go here. That didn't work either. Not cool. Down. All right, now I got this guy. Boom. There. There. Boom. Boom. Coin. Coin. Boom. 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 Hit that guy. Whoa, that was not good. Quick. Ugh. I just got impatient. Should've waited. Got him there. Got it. Is that another bonus? Yeah. Jump on. Ow. Ah, that's it. Yeah, almost. Do 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 do. This game is enjoyable overall. I'm liking it. Boom. Oh, okay, there. That was good. Good, good. The POW is back now. That replenished. Alright. Phase 10. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead and let that. There we go. Whoa. That it? That's it. Alright, I'm gonna call it quits there. Luigi Brothers inside of Mario 3D World on Wii U. That was a good experience. That was a fun game. Thanks for checking out the channel. Please subscribe if you have not done already. That would help out a small channel like mine. Other than that, thanks for watching and take care. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah. F-Zero on the Super Nintendo. This game's one of the first Super Nintendo games that I played back in the day, and I absolutely love this game. This game is amazing, and at the same time, I kinda absolutely hate this game. It is absolutely frustrating as much as it is lovable. Something about this game just draws you in. There's something about this Mode 7 graphic style. There's something about the colors of this game. The music of this game is amazing. You've got to hear it. But yet at the same time, it's essentially Bumper Cars, the video game. As you can see in the footage, you bump into cars a lot, you bump into walls a lot, and even at times you will find yourself flying back and forth, going in reverse, simply because, well, the AI opponents just decided to bump into you. Times in this game where you will be jumping over a simple cliff and then suddenly another racer just decides to bump you and knock you off the road. There are times in this game where everything seems perfectly fine. You've been going through the race in first place, and then you make one tiny little mistake. You hit the brake, and then immediately someone comes up behind you, hits you, another car hits you, and then boom, you're in fourth place and you lose. And that's what happens in this game. As you can see, you have lives at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. In order to move on and to not lose a life, you have to get first, second, or third place in every race. Now, when you get fourth place, you lose a life. You run out of lives, it's game over. So in a way, it almost kind of operates like a traditional video game as opposed to a racing game, an action-adventure platform game. You have lives, and then you run out of lives and you continue. Well, there are ways in which this game also doesn't really behave like a racing game. For example, as you can see, sometimes you'll see the check mark come at the bottom of the screen to let you know someone is behind you. You get the feeling that the game is programmed so that enemies are just kind of behind you at all times. If you hit the brake around a turn, if you bump into the wall around a turn, if you just take too much time around a turn, it seems like always an opponent is right behind you. And it just kind of leaves you with this feeling of uneasiness, like even on just the standard difficulty, you've got to get through this game perfectly, or else there's going to be a lot of frustration. You see, the cars in this game, they bump into you, they knock you around, you hit into the walls, and a lot of times when you hit into the walls, you might find yourself bouncing around bumper car style, and it can be extremely frustrating. But yet, you continue to play the game. Why? Because for some reason, you love the game. There's something about the cars in this game, just selecting between blue car, green car, red car, yellow car. There's something special about this game, the music, the way it feels. At least when you're doing well, it feels fantastic. Now, to be honest with you, the first two leagues, aren't nearly as difficult as the third one. As you can see here in the footage, I'm going through one of the most frustrating sections of the whole game, this tight corridor where you just have to navigate through these walls. And it doesn't even really feel like a racing game at this point. It feels more like bumper cars, like just trying to survive, trying to navigate through these tight corridors, making these tight turns, knowing exactly how to hit the boost or if you even hit it at all. Now, I will say with repeated playing, this game definitely does get better, even if it doesn't seem like it will at first. You will eventually start to feel the turns. You will start to learn new tricks, like say, for example, you hold the tight turn button around the turn and then you mash the gas button, and it actually gives you a nice tight turn that's going to help you a lot around certain tight corners. In some parts in this game, you will feel that even if you're playing exceptionally well, you simply have to deal with the opponents coming at you. That's actually the real issue in this game. Left to my own devices, if I'm just simply racing through the track, it feels fantastic. The game has a great feel and a great vibe to it. You just don't want to get hit. You just don't want to bump around with the other cars. You don't want to hit the walls. But yet, even sometimes, you want to hit the walls. What you're seeing here is Firefield. This is the last race in the King League. This was a long time coming for me to be able to finish this race on the standard difficulty, and I finally did it after all this time. There are some sections like right there where you actually want to hit the wall because if you don't, you're actually going to slow yourself down. It's actually advantageous here and there to actually hit the wall, sacrifice just a little bit of power, and it's actually better off. As you can see, you have a power meter in the top right hand corner of the screen. If you run out of power, you will lose your life, but as you can see there is a way to get your life back at certain parts of the track. But at the same time, it's definitely a bit of a gamble. If you hit the wall, you maybe risk actually hitting another opponent at times. There are times where hitting other opponents can actually help you. In fact, sometimes when you see the check mark coming up from the bottom of the screen like that, you might actually want to break down and actually allow the car to bump you and actually let it boost you forward. A couple of things about the cars in this game. I don't usually use the yellow car, which is the high acceleration vehicle. The blue car, the Blue Falcon here, is the one I started to use more towards the end. It's kind of the all-around car. It's your Mario Kart, basically. The red car, you will see that a lot in the in speedrunner competition, and they call it the red car. I mean, let's be honest, it's more of a magenta, but I digress. The green car has the strongest defense. It has the strongest power. It's the heaviest vehicle. I use it every now and then just to change things up. But over time, I started to actually get the hang of the blue car. You just kind of get used to a certain vehicle and the way it feels. But I will say that the red car does have great handling, and I usually do navigate towards the vehicles with better handling in arcade racing games like this. Same thing with Horizon Chase Turbo. I love going for the cars that handle around the turns the best. This race here was intense, trying to get through it, because what will happen is I would just constantly get to the end, and I would end up finishing maybe, fourth or fifth right at the end. There were a few times where I was in third place, and right at the very end, I ended up getting knocked off. Another key technique in this game is you want to know where to use your boost. Every race has a good place to use your speed boost, and it really, really helps in terms of winning the race. If you don't use it at the right time, again, it's going to be bumper car city. You're just going to be bouncing back and forth, and it's just going to be super frustrating. Back in the day, in these 8 and 16-bit games, especially in the 8-bit era, but this was an early 16-bit game. A lot of these games, they were just frustrating in that they were just kind of programmed to be a little bit cheap, but you loved the game, so you kept playing it anyways. This is one example of that, but yet, again, the appeal of it is terrific. Part of it's nostalgia, and part of it is a lot of it had a lot of potential. And I'm going to do a video on F-Zero X fairly shortly for the N64, and that game I definitely do feel like really improved on what they had here. But I just can't help but dig into the music and the beautiful graphics of this game. And there you go, I finally make third, and I finally finish this game for whatever it's worth. I know there's people who can probably just beat the snot out of this one, but for me, that was a long time coming. Alright, this is my first gaming video that I've done in a long time. Happy to be back. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button for me if you can. I appreciate it. And yeah, let's take care, and I'll see you in another one. (1998's) F-Zero X for the N64. Let's dive right in. While most of the N64's library is very hard to look back on with such dated graphics, the Nintendo Switch Online's upscaling in this game is excellent. This is about as good as I can expect an N64 game to look. It's colorful, yet easy to look at, It's fast, yet you can follow everything you can need to see on the screen. The soundtrack to F-Zero X is catchy, memorable, fitting, and iconic. The best tunes from the original game are all here with a modern rock upgrade. The music puts you in the driver's seat, literally and figuratively. Hitting the walls no longer results in a painful, unwanted game of pinball. In fact, scraping up against the walls can sometimes be a good thing in this one. The track itself can range from super narrow to super wide, but is generally a lot more comfortably large than it was in F-Zero. F-Zero X plays much more like a traditional racing game than its predecessor, which suffered from a lack of fairness and an inability to feel like you were in a true racing experience with other vehicles. This time around, you have 29 other racers to square off against, and you truly feel that speed is the most important factor in the game rather than avoiding collisions. This game features a large selection of characters, adding up to 30 in total, with most of them needing to be unlocked. I've always appreciated a game giving you the motivation to play it several times over in order to unlock more characters. It gives it a longevity that it otherwise would not have. As for the characters themselves, while the original game's characters only really existed in the instruction manual, this game's unique cast of characters are proudly on display throughout the game and feature a clear inspiration from the world of comic books, each with their own unique design and vehicle. The game itself has become far more intuitive and more in-depth in its gameplay. After repeated play, I began to realize that I was doing my best, but still finishing on average around 8th, 9th, or 10th place. It was at that point that I realized that the game's mechanics were a lot deeper than I could see on the surface. This is what I would call a strategy guide game. The tricks you need to get faster are not obvious at first glance. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the gameplay mechanics of F-Zero X, I would recommend checking out this video by this high-level player named WMJ on his YouTube channel. Link in the description. There are only a few cons that I can think about with this game. First of all, I do wish that the game's deeper racing mechanics were a little bit more obvious to you at the beginning. You will likely need to go online to learn much more about how to do your best in this one. In fact, and I admit that this can be a bit subjective, the game's high-level play involves an extreme amount of flying your car in the air off track, which to me just isn't that appealing. I can't say that I'm interested in getting good at doing complicated tricks in the air and skillfully landing my vehicle at just the right point in order to be competitive. Now, the game does glitch a bit, especially regarding whether or not your car is graphically on the track correctly. At times when you jump from one point of the track onto another, it might look as if you were about to fall off and then suddenly you're magically placed back on. Now, this last point is admittedly probably even more subjective, but I admit I do feel a bit like I miss the traditional speed boost. You see, this game, the boost power, it actually takes away from your health meter when you use it. This makes me feel like I don't want to use it, however, I feel obligated to use it in order to maximize my speed. In my final thoughts, I would say for those minor reasons, I would have to reduce my score of F-Zero X down to a 9.5. Otherwise, it's a 10 out of 10. I can't think of much wrong with this one. Play it. This has been Scott3am. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello everybody, welcome. Today we're going to look at the 8BitDo Pro 2 Bluetooth gamepad. This is a retro controller, which you can use on your PC. You can also use this on your Nintendo Switch, which is the primary reason that I am using it. Stick around and we'll take a look at it. First of all, let's take a look at the box here. I love the packaging design on this. It's simple, it's not trying to do too much. On the sides, we just have basic gray. On the top, we just have a little bit of visual branding. Again, the mark here. And the back, simple enough. We have clear left line text, some good contrast with the typography, and we have an illustration here of the controller, and as you're going to see in a few minutes, it's slightly off the look of the controller, but that's to be expected because it is an illustration. It is just a visualization. So now, for the sake of this video, I'm not actually unboxing this. I literally put the controller back inside, so I'm just going to demonstrate what it's like from a packaging design standpoint. This is one of those typical situations where you have to, you know, open it up, and this is what you see inside. So it's a nice presentation. You just have this clear plastic over top of it. Take that off. There you go. You have the controller. I do still have the manual inside, and there you go. Here's the back. You can see you do have L1 and L2, R1, R2. Now, one thing I do want to address real quick is if you take a look at this, this is again the box, this is the controller, and as you can see, it's a little bit darker gray in real life. When you first open it up, you're going to notice that right away because this illustration kind of has a gradient with a dark gray kind of going up to a light, so it's not realistic. It's like a fake lighting simulation on there. There are, of course, other colors available and different types of models, and we'll get into that in a second. Now, why would I get this controller? Simply put, this is basically a nostalgia experience. If you want something for playing on Steam or for a Nintendo Switch, you want a situation where you don't want to, say, play on the Joy-Cons, which most people don't because, you know, your right thumb is right over top of the right analog stick. It's not very comfortable. It's not giving you that retro feel. This will give you that retro feel. You have a D-pad in the primary position, and the analog sticks are moved down here like in a PlayStation controller. Your thumb's right here. It's like a classic Super Nintendo controller feel to it. So not only that, but obviously this is kind of it's kind of a hybrid of like a PS1 and a Super Nintendo controller because obviously you're getting the gray and you have these handles on here. So it's kind of, in my opinion, it's really the perfect combination of classic and modern. So you're still getting these analog sticks here. You're still getting the comfortability of having your hands here. And at the same time, you're getting your Y, X, B, and A in the Super Nintendo positions. You're getting this D-pad right where you want them. In my opinion, it's essentially the best of both worlds. One thing I do want to address about the visual design in this, first of all, I absolutely love the visual design on this. If you look up close, you have a very smooth surface up front here, but like on a PlayStation 4 controller, you have a bit of a texture pattern over the back of it. It's just a nice touch, just gives it a little bit of contrast. You have a little bit of contrast here over this battery compartment here. It opens up. This is where your rechargeable battery goes. You don't have to take it out, by the way. It's not like that. It comes with a cord that you can plug in. You can put it into your PC tower, you can put it into your Switch, and you can charge it that way. I don't know if it was on this model or if it happened prior to this, but on this model, you have perfectly center aligned start and select buttons. That was not always the case. I'm going to put an image on the screen. On previous 8-bit-do controllers, there was a huge visual design flaw, the type of thing where you might not even notice it when you buy it, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. The start and select buttons were actually left of center. they actually center align them in the space in between the D-pad and the Y button, which puts it to the left of center. So it's very visually awkward. Once I noticed that, I realized that I could not unsee that. Now on the back, there's a switch right here. This is where you switch modes. If you have it all the way up to the left like I do here, it's on the switch version basically. It's on the switch mode, I should say. So this is where, if you're playing it on Android, on Mac OS X, if you're playing it on Steam, you would change the mode here. About this D-pad, this is as good a D-pad as I have ever played. It's a very faithful reproduction of basically what you think of as a Super Nintendo D-pad. This is as good, as solid of a D-pad as you are ever going to play on. It does not feel the slightest bit like a third-party controller at all whatsoever. This is an absolutely excellent D-pad to work on. Now, with these analog sticks, they're next to perfect. Like, I think a PS4 and the PS4 analog sticks are probably the best I've ever played on myself, in my opinion. These are pretty much right behind them or right up there. This is about as good of an analog stick as you can want to play on. It feels just right in terms of like the tightness and the looseness of it. I'm 100% all in on positive on these. The buttons themselves, I feel like are essentially spot on. They're about just the right size. They're not too big, they're not too small. I would say they're slightly clicky. They're slightly a little too, maybe a little too much of that clack, clack, clack feeling. Just a little bit, not too much. It's just not perfect. It doesn't bother me too much. I can accept that. Overall, I'm very positive on the buttons. The start and select buttons, they feel like the start and select on a Super Nintendo controller. They are straight horizontally across instead of tilted. I'm okay with that. You have these buttons here, here, and here. This right here is like your home button. This is like your share button, essentially. These squares right here are what's going to light up when you turn the controller on. Again, you have L and R1 and you have L and R2, and they are shaped like triggers, and they're not taking up too much space back here. I have nothing bad to say about these at all whatsoever. I've never had any issues at all. Overall, the controller feels nearly perfect in my hand. I've had absolutely no issues at all whatsoever with the way this controller feels. I've had controllers like the Hori Fighting Commander where over time, because of the way my fingers were like digging in to the handles, the inside backs of my fingers started to seriously hurt over time, and I began to have a really hard time playing on the controller because my fingers were hurting. I haven't had any issues at all whatsoever with this controller, so I have nothing but positive things to say about it in that regard. There are only two negative things that I wanted to address with this controller. One is these back buttons right here. Now you might be looking at this and thinking, that's a positive, and if you are, fantastic, great. Maybe it's a subjective preferences as to whether or not you want it to be there. But for me, it's just getting in the way. Like, I don't like the idea that my fingers are actually on a button when I'm holding the controller like this. And in fact, what I found for the first few days of using it, I started to feel like what I was doing was I was holding the controller like this. Like I just started playing like this. Like I was holding my fingers out naturally because I didn't want to uncomfortably have my fingers resting on these buttons here. I can say that over time, I've gotten used to it and it's not bothering me nearly as much anymore. I can say that during loading screens, I find myself like doing this and it's not really an issue anymore. I'm used to having it. So you will get used to it if you're like me and that's an issue. It's not a deal breaker. I was a little bit worried about that. The only other issue I want to address is I did do research online. I did YouTube and Google the matter, and I did find that this controller has definitely been tested to be more latent. There is a little bit more of inherent lag in this controller than, say, for example, if you were using the first party Nintendo's Pro controller, or whatever they're calling it. Now I'm not one of the ones who's done a YouTube video to actually test latency on that, but trusting the ones who have, most of them will tell you that first party controllers are typically better at this sort of thing in general. A third party controller will typically have a little bit more latency to it than a first party controller. It seems to be a myth that a wired controller has less latency than a wireless controller. There's some wired controllers that are more latent than a wireless controller. But in general, this one, it's kind of a weird one. I found YouTube videos where even the different 8-bit do models that are just like this in different colors are even giving different test results in terms of latency. And this one overall was one of the ones that was testing to be more latent. So I was very worried about that when I bought it. Has it been an issue? No, it actually has not been an issue at all whatsoever. In fact, I can say this, that I extensively played the Wii U Ninja Gaiden NES game on the Nintendo Wii U Virtual Console using the Wii Classic controller, and I was having a much harder time playing that game than when I'm using this controller playing Ninja Gaiden NES through Switch Online. Like, there's something about the way it feels. I played it enough that I can tell that it's less latent when I'm playing it on its Nintendo Switch Online through this controller than I was playing it on the Wii U version with the Wii Classic controller. I don't know if it's more the game itself or if it's the controllers. I'm guessing it's probably that version of the game is running better, but my point being is that this controller is not latent enough for me to notice it and for it to affect my gameplay at all whatsoever, despite the fact that I did find YouTube channels that were testing it to be more latent. So that's my final result or verdict on that. Even though it has been tested to be more latent, I don't believe it's an issue. This controller is generally running for about $49.99 USD. It is controllers nowadays are typically running kind of expensive like that if you want a good controller. If you're only going to spend, around $20-25 or whatever for a controller, you typically expect a third-party controller that maybe isn't as good in general. So if you want to go down that route, I know there are Ori controllers. Do whatever you need to. In my opinion, this is about as good of a controller as you're going to get if you're like me and you're playing a lot of Nintendo Switch Online retro games. That's your jam. I do highly recommend this controller. I have had nothing but good experiences with it. Overall, you can do whatever you want, but this is my channel, my video, and I'm going to give this one an A+ rating. Overall, I can't say enough about it. I'm way too small to be affiliated or anything like that right now, so it's just my opinion. But this is the 8-bit do Pro 2 controller. Again, I don't recommend earlier models that you might find online that have some weird visual design quirkiness where these buttons are not where they should be. As a professional graphic designer, that drives me crazy when I see that, so this is a much better design than some of the other ones. So kudos to 8-bit do for listening to feedback and for fixing the visual design. And I have heard that in general there are some other playability issues and some other bugs that they've actually fixed in newer models as well. I can't confirm or deny that, but that is something I have heard. So overall, that's my rating, that's my review. If you like this video, give me a like and thumbs up on there. I appreciate that. Consider subscribing to the channel. Anyways, thank you for watching and take care.